Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Threezero DLX scale Iron Man figure unboxing and review. Now today we are taking a look at none other than Iron Man Mark 46 from Captain America Civil War. Now Threezero just keeps peppering us with DLX scale Iron Man figures, but I'm not complaining. I'm really excited to get this guy out here. Now I do have to say a huge thank you to Threezero for sending me this review sample. I have popped the link to their website in the description down below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it's done in the usual Threezero DLX Iron Man style, meaning there's an image of the figure front and center, Captain America Civil War down below, then on the side of the box, Iron Man Mark 46. On the back, all the warnings and legal info. On the inside cover though, which is secured with Velcro, a bunch of product shots, once again, of the actual figure. We do have an open window giving you a sneak preview of the 46, but we're not here for sneak previews, we're here to review this figure. Now, the line started off really strong with the Mark 43. Then it followed up equally as strong with the Mark 50 and Iron Patriot and the Mark 3. But now we have a lot of people's favourite suit of all time, the 46. First in-hand impressions are, yeah, it's pretty heavy. There's some diecast here. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, luckily he comes with one. Threezero kind of decide when and where to give you display bases, but DLX figures always seem to have them. Up top, Infinity Saga, up front Iron Man Mark 46, then up top a multi-jointed flight pole arm plus this little connector right here. If you're wondering, oh that's weird, how does that connect to the figure? Well, simple enough, there's a peg port on his tuchus. Normally there's a little cover that you just slide on, but if you want to use the display base, pop off the cover, then peg him in. You do get two shorter blast effects that are a little bit chunkier and two longer ones. They can either peg into his repulsor blasting hands or into his feet. They're cast in translucent plastic with some shading down below. They are a little bit spiky though, especially down the bottom when you're trying to actually peg them in, so do be careful not to spike yourself. You also get two swap out panels, one for either side with his wrist rocket. I like the detail here, and it kinda gives you a taste of what the paint is like on the figure. Spoiler alert, it's really good. Lastly, we get a full array of hands ranging from open palm hands to closed fists to repulsor blasting hands with the little guard kicked up at the end. You also have fully painted repulsors on some of them, slippery little devils they are. They're made of rubbery plastic and they are on ball joints, so they should slide on pretty easy. What we are going to do now though is get the Mark 46 himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. That comes a little bit later. With Threezero, it kind of feels like another month, another Iron Man figure, but when you're doing them this well, that's not a bad thing. Now, going around the grounds with the usual checklist, starting off with proportions, hell yes, it looks like a dude in a suit, shrunk down to 1/10 scale. The paint is crisp and clean, maybe too clean. I would like to see some scuffing and scratching, but overall can't complain. And the articulation is really well hidden with only a few select visible joints. Overall, as I said, clean. Now, is this the best one in the lineup? I'll let you know a little bit later. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the LEDs first, a bit of a surprise for you. Now, normally I'd show you the LEDs if I could get the requisite button cell batteries, but down here in Australia, you can't. They're really hard to come by. Now, over in the States, yes, you can order them from Amazon, but technically, this entire figure is illegal. Now, there's some new battery laws that say the compartments have to be secured and the screws have to work in a certain way, so that means trying to get the teeny tiny batteries for this figure next to impossible. It can be done, but it's a little bit shady. Now, it does have an LED for the arc reactor and the eyes. You'd simply push it and it would light up. There aren't any arc reactor lights in mini ones, but at this scale, I think that's perfectly fine. Now, the helmet is the quintessential Mark 46 design. You've got the lines kind of mimicking brows. I really like that. The sculpt is crisp and clean, and oh, I love the color. It's kind of this satin, deep, rich wine red. It's no longer that really bright, fiery hot rod red, and that works for the Mark 46. It's from a more grown-up movie. I also like the more saturated gold. I know it's not for everyone, and of course, the bright silver. Around the back, you've got a bunch of sculpted in detail, really like the mini grills and the teeny arc reactors, but you also have opening flaps. They're absolutely tiny, but underneath, some more sculpted detail. Now, there isn't any chipping or scratching or battle damage. Overall, it's really clean. Around the front, you've got some hidden moving panels for just a little bit more articulation. They are kind of hard to activate, but these panels for the chest actually move forward and out of the way, so you can bring the arms around the front even more. But when they're sitting in flush, there were already panel lines here anyway, so it's not like they really stand out and look super ugly. Now, previous DLX Iron Man figures have had this really bulky chest and a really skinny waist, but luckily this guy has a more natural V-taper. It doesn't look super ugly, it actually looks really seamless. The arms, I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but a ton more sculpted detail, a little bit more gold, and a lot more silver. Don't forget he does have the swappable missiles for the forearms. And you know what? That actually wasn't a chore to do. I thought I'd be sitting here for ages trying to wedge my fingernail underneath, but there's a little groove that's sculpted into the armor, so you can wedge your fingernail in that groove. It's super easy. The rocket also looks pretty seamless, like it's formed out of the arm. The panels have moved out of the way to reveal some hidden detail, as well as that rocket. One of the best parts about these Threezero DLX figures is the engineering. Up here at the shoulders, the gaps are virtually non-existent, and the same thing can be said for the thighs, but if you're wondering, oh no, that means his legs can't move, this stuff will collide. Oh no, don't you worry. There's a hidden moving panel just like the chest plate. It's going to fight me just a little, but when you move it down, oh yes, even more range of motion. But it's a little bit stiff and sturdy. Fingers crossed as you start to move it and pose it. It loosens up, not too much, but just a little. You've got some more bright silver on the hips and on the thighs with this grill. Then coming down to the rest of the leg, a lot more red. Don't forget, underneath you do have a peg port for the blast effects we discussed earlier. For a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Threezero's Mark 46 and ZD Toys Mark 43. Hey, they're compatible. If you wanted to mix lines, you absolutely could. Although, if there's an option to get the Threezero version, I would recommend it. It's way better quality. It's not to say that ZD Toys quality is bad, it absolutely isn't. They're really high quality figures, just it's a completely different league. Threezeros have got diecast and crazy engineering and awesome articulation, plus the LEDs. Now, yes, ZD Toys have a cool LED feature as well, but it always comes at the cost of articulation and sometimes accessories too. Here we have Threezero's DLX Mark III. A little bit shorter as he should be, and the color is a little bit more saturated on the Mark III compared to the 46. As I said earlier, Civil War is a more serious adult movie. They're dealing with really heavy stuff, so they darkened the color palette just a little. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a ball joint at the base of the head and another at the base of the neck, looking forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. Now when it comes to the arms, I would suggest moving the shoulder pads out first to maximize your range, going up to there, going forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Plus there is this panel that does move forward, so if you want to bring the arm forward just a little bit more, yeah, that panel should allow that. You do of course have a swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow that does get you past 90, plus a ball joint for the wrist peg. Now the torso does crunch forward a spectacular amount in typical Threezero fashion. going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. Now the legs do go forward to there, but fret not, you can drop them down and they will go forward even further. You also have this panel which can move up and out of the way to, once again, maximize your range of motion. Going out is super stiff and sturdy on mine to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee, that does get you the full way, a double ball peg / hinge and swivel mechanism for the foot, and lastly, toe articulation. Wrapping up on Threezero's DLX scale part diecast Iron Man Mark 46 from Captain America Civil War. Going into this, super excited. Love the line, love the company, being of course Threezero. This line, in my opinion, has gone from strength to this guy. What does that mean? I kind of just realized that sound like I was saying it's bad. It's not bad, it's incredible. This is now my favorite smaller scale Iron Man. It could be due to the fact that I'm a huge fan of the Mark 46 design, but they translated it really well. I am aware of the fact that sometimes I repeat myself, saying that the proportions are good and the sculpt is good and the paint is good, but when you make so many reviews, there are only so many ways you can describe a figure other than to say that Threezero, you all nailed it. I would have loved to have seen a Tony Stark head sculpt. Wish I could have tried out the lights, but oh well. There's some diecast here. The paint is stunning. Overall, a ton of ticks from me. I am hoping that they make other characters like maybe Cap and the rest of the team for Iron Man and Cap from Civil War. So far though, they're sticking to Iron Man and Spidey. That makes me really happy because I love both Tony and Peter. But as I said, fingers crossed the line gets a little bit more diverse as it keeps going. Now, I got mine directly from Threezero. Thank you to Threezero for sending me this production sample so I could actually make this video. I have popped the link to their site in the description down below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.